One question that so many South Africans keep asking is if Julius Malema is truly the defender of the oppressed, or maybe he's just playing both sides. We'll be talking about this particular influential political figure in this video, so please do all to stay tuned and watch till the very end. Well, like we earlier said, in this particular video, we're going to be diving deep into the enigma that is Julius Malema. Of course, he's the leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters, or the EFF. Malema is known across South Africa for his fiery speeches and his bold stance against oppression, but behind the rhetoric, is there a disconnection between his actions and his principles? Well, in this video, we are going to explore how Malema's leadership is increasingly being viewed as contradictory. From his support for traditional leaders in South Africa to his fierce defense of LGBTQ+ rights, while aligning himself with regimes that actively oppose these freedoms, this is a story of a political figure whose actions may not always align with his words. To better understand Julius Malema's contradictions, we need to first look at his history. Malema rose to prominence as a firebrand youth leader in the ANC. His charisma and passionate speeches made him a favorite among young South Africans who felt left behind by the country's economic and social inequalities. In 2013, he founded the EFF, a political party that quickly gained traction by promising radical economic transformation and speaking directly to the frustrations of the poor and disenfranchised. Malema's EFF stands out for its strong stance against white monopoly capital, land reform, and its promise to fight for the rights of the marginalized. But is this the full picture? That is what so many South Africans are curious to find out. One of Malema's most recent actions was leading a march against the Eswatini monarchy, where he denounced King Mswati III for centralizing power and nationalizing land, actions that Malema argued only deepened the oppression of the people of Eswatini. On the surface, this aligns with Malema's reputation as an anti-authoritarian who fights against the exploitation of the poor. But the contradiction arises when you look at Malema's own defense of traditional leaders within South Africa, many of whom hold vast amounts of land and exert significant control over their communities. Another paradox in Malema's leadership is his stance on LGBTQ+ rights. Malema has been an outspoken advocate for the LGBTQ+ communities in South Africa, a position that is often met with resistance in many conservative African societies. While he has argued passionately for the rights of these marginalized groups, this commendable stance clashes with his strong alliances with political leaders across Africa who are known for enacting and supporting homophobic policies. Malema is perhaps best known for his fierce opposition to what he calls white monopoly capital. He blames this so-called capital for perpetrating economic inequality in South Africa and often uses racially charged rhetoric to frame the issue. While many black South Africans feel he speaks for their economic frustrations, critics argue that Malema's language sometimes borders on incitement, stirring racial tensions rather than offering real solutions. One of the most controversial issues surrounding Malema is his stand on African unity and his defense of foreign nationals in South Africa. He has been an outspoken advocate for the rights of African migrants, arguing that they should be welcomed and integrated into the South African economy. While this aligns with his vision of a united Africa, it has faced intense criticism from local South Africans, particularly in economically strained townships where foreign nationals are often seen as competition for scarce jobs and resources. In conclusion, Julius Malema is a complex and often contradictory figure in South African politics. While his intentions may seem noble, his actions sometimes appear to conflict with the ideas he promotes. These contradictions continue to stir debate and raise questions about his true motivations. It remains to be seen whether Malema's contradictions will harm his political career in the long run, or if he will be able to reconcile his words and actions to become a more coherent and effective leader.